Welcome to another edition of River City Hardball. I'm your host, Andrew Gibson. And each week here in 2022, we've grown a partnership with our friends at D-Bat Jacksonville, and we're proud to present you an Athlete of the Week. And today is Kyra Brenneman from Creekside, a senior catcher. And along with us tonight is one of her instructors at DBat and owner-operator as well, Kory Warren, joining us tonight. Everybody, thanks for joining us. I'll start with you, Coach Kory, as they call you. I appreciate you jumping on. Tell me the experience. What's it been like so far coaching Kyra there at DBat?
Kyra's a blast. I mean, she comes in every day. You want to talk about high energy. I mean, every day I feel like I got to have 2 or 3 energy drinks to kind of keep up with her. But it's always a ton of fun with it. You know, she's constantly wanting to be pushed a little bit harder. Probably the coolest factor that I think I've noticed from Kyra so far is every lesson there's a notepad, whether it's on her phone or something. Everything is meticulous about, improvement. And as a coach, you just can't ask for anything more than that.
Kyra, you're a senior at Creekside on your way to Carnegie Mellon to play college softball. Tell us about your experience training there with DBat with Coach Kory and the others there.
Well, I just started actually at the end of last season, my junior season, and I have absolutely loved it. The changes in my hitting have been like astronomical if you compare it from then to now. And working with Coach Kory is awesome because he knows how my personality works, and I'm a very analytical type of mind. I like to analyze, learn the physics, learn the science behind it. So whenever we learn something new, we always discuss like the mechanics and the physics and all the stuff that just makes it correlate really well in my brain. So I absolutely love it there.
Kyra, tell us about your game on the field. You're a senior catcher there at Creekside.
Yeah, so I've caught for Creekside since sophomore year, and I absolutely love it. I've gotten to work with a bunch of different pitchers through there. Some of my favorite parts of like in games is the working with the team and how everyone's pushing for that one common goal, that one success. Because I was pulled up to varsity freshman year when we went to the state. We got second in the state. And so I got to pinch run for the state championship game. And that was an experience like no other. But everyone's working for that one common goal. Everyone is putting all their effort into the game and just because they love it. And I love working with all the pitchers because they truly have a heart for the game, and learning how to work with each of their individual personalities and making friends with each of them has been one of the best parts of my experience.
Kory, getting the opportunity to work with Kyra there at DBat, what's it like to work with an athlete that's going to go on to play college softball?
I mean, honestly, it's what every instructor dreams about doing. Our entire goal is however we can help the player get to the next level and achieve their goals with it. It's very fulfilling as far as that goes. But, really it comes down to the player. It's the commitment that they want to make to it. And, especially with Kyra, she's come in and absorbed everything we've ever asked her, everything we've ever put in front of her. So having a collegiate athlete that not only, puts the commitment to it, puts in the time, effort, and energy, but, to really want to get that full understanding of it, where, like she said, it's however we can apply something, we might pull something from a totally different, realm of the world, physics. If it applies to her, it's whatever we can do.
All right, now, Coach Kory, I ask you to put your coaching hat on. Tell me Kyra Brenneman's strengths and maybe some things that you're working on with her. Keeping the elbow up, is that what I heard?
Yep.
That's one of them. Pretty much the main thing that we're always working for is solid contact. Our entire philosophy as a hitting staff here at DBat is hit the ball hard. If you hit the ball hard, good things happen. So, one of the things that we really kind of push Kyra to do is, like, singles are great. I'll take a single any day of the week. I'm never going to be upset about it. Doubles win games. Triples, home runs, put you at the next level. And once we kind of got her to realize that, probably the first thing Kyra will tell you, swing harder. Like, that was the very first thing we learned.
Yes.
Once we kind of started being able to put that in there, Kyra doesn't have a ton of holes right now in the swing. It's she's contact-wise, she's going to run into that ball. And now when we run into it, she's doing some damage, which is so much fun to watch.
Kyra, you've got a smile from ear to ear hearing him talk about your swing. How much fun is it for you to get in there and train like this?
I absolutely love it. I just love the way like we're able to like a lot of other hitting instructors and stuff like that that I've had don't do as many like drills or like reasoning behind it. They'll just be like, "Hey, fix this." But I like understanding the reasoning behind it because it makes sense in my brain and it makes sense with my body, which leads me to do it more. And basically, Coach Kory has taught me like the philosophy of like you're like you have to push 100% every swing 100%. You don't want to settle for those singles. I used to always like my freshman sophomore year settle for like getting on base, you know, but now I want those doubles, I want those triples, I want those hits to the fence.
Kyra, let's talk about your college recruitment. Tell us about that process and how you decided on Carnegie Mellon up there in Pittsburgh.
So it was a very long process. You start looking at schools before your freshman year, which like as like a 12-year-old, that's a lot to look at. But I knew my number one criteria going into college recruiting would be academics. That is something I absolutely love and I'm absolutely looking for. So I knew I was looking for a place with a good pre-med and biology program. And then, so as I was going through my schools, narrowing them down, I went on showcases, I traveled through camps, stuff like that. And then my coach, I started playing on a team, the New Jersey Cheetahs, out of like New Jersey. Because I knew I wanted to go Northeast too, because I've always wanted to go leave Florida, like travel a little bit, have a new experience for my 4 years of undergraduate. And so I was looking up there and I was looking at a bunch of schools, and Carnegie Mellon is a standout academically. They are incredibly rigorous, but incredibly really good at like pushing and like teaching and stuff like that. They have high standards, but it creates really good students and stuff like that. And it's really exciting to get the opportunity to study there because not only are they academically rigorous, they're like prestigious in that realm too. So the connections and the connections and opportunities that I'll get from studying there will be incredible. And the second I went up for my official visit in like September-ish, right before I committed. And the second I started talking to the coach, I knew I loved her. Her team philosophies, she's about developing the player as like as more than just a softball player, as a person, teaching life skills throughout college. She really cares about like emotional well-being, but she's also so competitive, which I am as well. So it is about that win, but it is about that win while securing emotional like health and stuff like that. And so the second I talked to the team, I toured campus, I fell in love with the school, and from there was no turning back.
I love to hear that. Kory, I'm interested in this aspect of something. When you have an athlete that's going to play at the college level, whether he or she is a commit or a signee, do you have any kind of communication with the coaching staff of that said school based on your training with what you guys do at DBat? Do you ever bounce things back and forth? Do you have any contact in that way?
Player. There are times that, we have a ton of contact with coaches, kind of depending on, honestly, you hear all the time about coaching trees. The baseball and softball world is much smaller than people probably even consider. Whether it is a baseball coach or a softball coach, we've all spent so much time and whether it's the recruiting aspect, the travel ball aspect, circles overlap. So, it really kind of depends on the player and the school. Obviously we're in the Southeast. All of our instructors are mostly Southeast guys. So we have really good connections up there. This was all Kyra. She did her research. She knew what she wanted to do as far as a university went. She knew what she was looking for. Then her whole job was just finding the softball team that matched what she already knew she wanted. And she came back from that first recruiting trip. And I mean, the second she walked into the lesson, I knew it was game over. I knew that coach had already locked in her next year catcher. When Kyra was able to be so excited about meeting the team, meeting the coaches, every week we still talk about how she's in a group chat with her teammates next year. I mean, it definitely helps with Kyra's personality to be able to go out and meet people. But, when it comes to the recruiting process, I can tell you right now, it's the player. They're their own resume. They really are. Best thing we do is we might be that recommendation at the bottom.
Final moment or two with Kory Warren and Kyra Brenneman with D-Bat Jacksonville. Kyra, I'm interested, how did you land on catching? Is that your primary position, and how did you land on being a catcher?
That's the best one.
Oh, of course. So I even like as far as I can remember, I started playing softball when I was about like 5-ish. As far as I can remember, like my first game, I have a picture of me in the catcher's gear that's 5 times too big for me. And I'm just sitting there having like fun. I even pitched for like a year. Then I realized, wait, I actually don't really like this. So I should probably like go back behind the plate. And throughout the years, I've grown so much through catching. Like the way of like leadership that catchers get to demonstrate, like it's not as recognized as pitchers because they're like the main focus, the spotlight. But behind the plate, you have more silent leadership, modeling leadership, and then you command the field. And I've just fell in love with the ways that catchers can impact the entire field and how catchers can control the game. And that position has truly like taken my heart. It's my favorite.
Kory, the catcher's leader on the baseball diamond, aren't they, or softball as well?
Always. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a little biased as a former catcher myself, but every time we get to put on that superhero uniform, it's a great day. So, whenever we get a chance to get behind the plate, I mean, even now, years after I'm out of the game, oh my God, I get so excited for it. So, whenever I get to see a new player come through here, especially a player as talented as Kyra is with it, when we get to start talking about the life of a catcher, we can talk for days. This could be the longest podcast ever.
Yeah, well, that's true. Kyra, the last thing I'll ask you here, your upcoming season, you're one of 4 seniors on this Creekside softball team. Tell us about your season upcoming here in a few weeks.
So I'm really excited for this season. I mean, not only because it's my last one, but because we have a really good team returning. Last year, we were district champions for the first time in a couple of years. And I'm really excited to hopefully repeat that because we have great pitchers returning, a lot of freshmen potential. The program is going to be really strong in the next couple of years. But this year, I'm just really excited to spend the season with my fellow seniors. We've been together since freshman year, and it's a great group of girls. I absolutely love them. We have like a shortstop, a center fielder, a first baseman, and a catcher. So you got like every corner side of the field covered, leadership in every area. And it's been really great to watch some of the players. One of the players I've been mentoring is a catcher. She was a freshman last year, and just watching her grow from last year to this year has been amazing. And I'm really excited to see how much more she progresses while I get to work with her this season.
That's great stuff. Let's end with this. Coach Kory, what's your biggest piece of advice for Kyra as she goes into her senior year and as she goes into college? What's your biggest piece of advice for her?
Play the game you've been playing. She's doing what she's always done. One of the things I want her to keep in mind is she's getting to the goals that she is by being the player she's always been. Nothing's new. We didn't change anything as far as that goes. So it's understanding for her that this is another year. This is one of another 4 that's about to come through. And honestly, it's a little bit of preparation for this, but at the same time, you're a senior. Enjoy it.
Absolutely. Kyra Brenneman, a senior catcher at Creekside, trains at D-Bat Jacksonville with Kory Warren and so many others. Everybody, thanks so much for your time tonight. Really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.